I'd like to speak today about an important idea to the evolution of our society from competitive and struggling for life, for survival society, into learning to be societies, learning societies. How could we make this shift? Well, it's very difficult, but we've been thinking a lot with my transdisciplinary groups in CIRET, le Centre international de recherche et d'études transdisciplinaires à Paris, in CETRANS, the Education Center of Transdisciplinarity in São Paulo. And we had some debates, and we were very inspired by the works of the engineer Leonardo Martins da Costa, with whom I speak a lot about this idea of transdisciplinary mediator that could act on several levels on conflicts on civil society in order to promote a learning to be. So the idea of a transdisciplinary mediator can transit through various disciplines to a form of unity of understanding beyond and through disciplines. And this mediator, this leader in a way, this decision maker, has to achieve the goal of transforming his group. It can be a small group, it can be a huge group, into an isolated and competitive group, to an isolated and competitive group into a group that take part of a learning society. So how is this transdisciplinary mediator? How can we define him? Well, he has to be someone that is a generalist articulating specialist, according to Leonardo. So someone who has a vision, someone who has a goal, and a precise goal, so who wants people to live together, who wants people to cooperate, who wants people to improve themselves, to evolve together, and in a way, as UNESCO documents for the 21st century defines as a learning to be. It's not only learning a content, but learning to be together. And we usually speak about knowing how to behave, knowing how to be. But if we look at human history and all our disasters, all our wars, all our difficulties, we must see that we are always improving and that we are learning beings. We are not all achieved, complete, a structure that is perfect. On the contrary, we are always discussing to find the better way. How can we live together? And especially in my last video on Vimeo, I talk about the unforgotten, but that are most of the time the forgotten zones, the ghetto spread all over in our planet. So the poverty zones that are increasing. How can we work on those scientific wars and on those economic wars and share knowledge, share education, share healthcare. Well, we need to be mediators. We need to act in zones of conflicts in order to find solutions that are good for everyone. So the mediator, who is it? It is a welcoming person. That is a very beautiful word in English, a welcoming person that has the ability to listen and to welcome all the actors, all the stakeholders. A ghostbuster, I will explain later on what is a ghostbuster, but it's the ability to see the ghosts, according to Hubert Landier, the things that we hide in an organization, but that can turn difficult the evolving of this organization. But I will come back on this ghostbuster idea of Professor Hubert Landier. A mediator that promotes agreements between parts, and it's a way, according to Leonardo Costa, to solve conflicts before a judicializing issue by using techniques in the discipline of systemic law, as per Brazilian Association, OAB. In the case of public management, the manager has the role of facilitator, articulator, and conflict harmonizer. So I heard from a very good professor about civil process that to begin a trial, civil trial, to begin a trial is already to lose the trial. As Sun Tzu said in The Art of the War, to start a war is already to lose the war. If you start the war, you lose the war, because you enter in a conflict that everybody will somehow be hurted, even the winners. And so we have to work among before the conflict is coming to reaching to a peak that is unavoidable, that war is unavoidable. So the mediator is capable as well as of social audit. So he can enter in an organization and has the expertise of placing competent people where there is a possibility of crisis. This expertise of choosing the right people in the crisis situation, the people who will really mediate. And Hubert Landier advises that 2 mediators are better than 1, because they can exchange their views and work together before the crisis is installed, or if the crisis is installed, to help the people to find a better solution. I mean, a mediator is not someone that will give the solution for people. It's someone that believes that people can find the solution together, and that he must give all the elements that turns the crisis solution possible, but he cannot do the conciliation, the harmonization that people has to do. There is a way that in a conflict each one has to do, and we cannot work for the other in that precise moment. That is what is so difficult in mediation, is that we try to find the roots of the conflict. We give the right information, the proper information to people involved in the conflict, but we cannot solve the conflict for them. They have to solve the conflict. So they have to learn an attitude, a behavior of learning to be changing from an attitude of I know exactly what to do, of maybe I'm not totally right, maybe I can change, maybe I can interact, maybe I can listen what to the other has to say, maybe he has a point, and we can cooperate with one another and learn together with one another. So the welcoming mediator is someone who is not only who don't have only a distract listening, as according to Leonardo Costa, or a rational listening, but is a welcoming listening, a listening that accepts what is emotionally discussed in a new way, from an unusual view, or from divergent views. That is a very important capacity of welcoming and listening, that can integrate all the stakeholders into the work group, making everybody feel included. Something more difficult to do in discussion groups, but it is what solves, according to Leonardo in his conference CETRANS Brazil in 9 of June 2023, it's what solves the problem dialectically and effectively, according to his holopractice transdisciplinary management theory. So there are several articles, several papers, I beg your pardon, of Leonardo Costa in ResearchGate, Leonardo Martins da Costa, that you can consult in his profile. And we'll be talking more about this in our next conferences in CIRET, the International Center of Transdisciplinarity. Of course, because it is a way of transforming our organizations into learning to be organizations. It can be a university, it can be a factory, it can be a family. I mean, if we change through, we change the attitude of being always right, being sure about what we know, to integrate all the other point of views, to be a welcoming person, maybe in a small range of action, we will make big changes. I mean, small acts, tiny acts of in welcoming people can change completely the world where we live. It's not big revolution, it's not big actions, but small mediations of conflicts where you live. Say, hey, may I help you? How can we solve this together? Is there a way we can learn together? Is there a way that we can avoid this conflict? Is there a way that we can walk hand in hand? And that is the importance of the mediator. Thank you very much for listening, and I'll be welcoming you soon in the next video about research, transdisciplinarity, and mediation.